Hey everyone, it's Charlie. It is June 4th, Thursday. Some real quick data: 621,000 people filed for jobless claims last week. It was a slight decrease from the week prior. However, that number was revised upward. Blah blah blah. You know the game. And it was a holiday week, so whatever. 621,000 people went on the rolls last week for the first time. We did see a slight decrease in the continuing number of people on unemployment insurance. And, it wasn't meaningful. It went from 6.75 million to 6.74 million. And I was thinking about that number, and I want to look it up, and I will, and mention it in a video in the future, to see when the big wave of unemployment started. I know it was like back in September, October last year. Damn it, my computer's yelling at me. When the 600, 700,000 plus a month started, we started losing them. We're going to see a big increase in this number, but when that decrease falls off, when the decrease comes, it's going to be because people are running out of benefits. I mean, a lot of people started on unemployment, a year ago, December. So they've had their unemployment insurance and their extensions, and some of them are starting to run out, and that's kind of scary because those are going to be the ultra desperate in the economy and in the country when they've ran through their 401k, they've ran through their savings, they've ran through their credit, and now they've ran through their unemployment, and they have nothing left. I mean, naturally, people are going to become more desperate. So productivity was up 1.6%. That's not a good thing. It sounds good. Everybody wants to be more productive. It's not, because hours are still slashed, labor is still slashed, but productivity is up. It just means people are working harder and longer for less. So naturally, when you're producing 100 widgets and your workforce fell from 10 to 9, productivity went up because you're still going to produce the 100 widgets, but you're going to have one less person to pay. That's why last month, if you're paid like our company pays, if there's three pay periods in May, it's really hard for a company to make money in May last month because we had an extra pay period in there. In the company I worked for case, you're talking an extra $90,000 or $100,000 in payroll. So you got to sell that much more to make payroll. The bright spot in the retailers was Walmart. Now, looking at retailers last week or last month, they took a bath. I mean, it was a bloodbath. Most of them were down anywhere from 7 to 40+% in May. Which, that was worse than analysts even predicted, so that hurt retailers today. But Walmart was actually doing just fine. Matter of fact, they're doing so fine, they're hiring 22,000 more people. Now, I don't have mixed feelings about this. I know some of my friends that I talk to do. A job's a job when you don't have a job. And they're absolutely right. There's a lot of people who are desperate who are going to go to work for Walmart. My point I make to them is, look at this. This is what's going on. This is, you're going to get rid of millions of good-paying, middle-class jobs on, auto lines, on whatever, loggers, stuff like that, where you can be middle class, you can have a high school education, you can go work for $50,000-$60,000 a year, work, save, and retire. But that isn't, the upper levels of the social strata are not that's not what they're going for. I've said this before in videos. The end goal is to get everybody to that lowest common denominator when it comes to employment, which is the world needs to be on the same level as, let's say, a Chinese or Taiwanese worker, and they can't bring those people up to us. They don't want to. The profits, they don't want to use the profits. And when I say they, I'm talking the bankers who are sitting on $13 trillion right now that have stolen that money from us and are holding on to it. It isn't back out in the economy. So that's the they in my scenario. If you need to bring the workforce in this country to that level. That's the end goal. And that's what's happening. And it's happening before your eyes. 22,000 people get hired by Walmart in the worst economic time since the Great Depression. Let's look at those jobs. Most of them are $14,000 to $17,000. Who in the hell can live on that? What family could possibly live on that? Over half of the employees of Walmart don't have insurance. Why? Because they can't afford to pay a quarter of what they make to have insurance. Not to mention the fact that 30+% of the people who work for Walmart are on some form of assistance, either welfare or food stamps or both. Not because they need to be. I mean, that they don't make enough. It's not a living wage. And you listen to Neil Cavuto, who I actually like Neil Cavuto, but if you listen to guys like him or any of the other business guys, they'll tell you how Walmart's a shining example of how to run a business, and they didn't need any bailout and this, that, and the other thing. Well, it is a shining example. It's a shining example of what the globalists want for this country. They want everything to be a big corporate conglomerate that is running roughshod at this point over the labor market. I mean, really? You want to try to form a union at Walmart? Good luck. They're just going to shut it down and move on to one of their other 150 stores are opening this year. So I guess you can look at that 22,000 jobs as good news. I certainly do not. I mean, if you were telling me 22,000 new logging jobs or mining jobs or steelworker jobs were coming up, where these are decent wages, where people can raise a family on, okay, then I'm celebrating. 22,000 poverty-level jobs is a scary trend, in my opinion. The other quick note is keep your eye on the dollar. It rebounded a little bit yesterday and then continued to just tank again today to that 79 level on the index. And gold and silver fell a bit yesterday, but gained it back and then some today. I think silver closed at close to 1590 and gold at 980 plus. So at any rate, a lot of stuff going on. I'm going to be putting out more videos this week about all the globe trotting our government's doing right now to China and to Saudi Arabia and the Middle East. All the ranting and raving about terrorists coming across the Mexican border with an anthrax attack and Bin Laden coming out with a video. It just feels like there's something ramping up, some kind of maybe false flag, like CV1122 said in her video, there's something's underway. You got Bernanke coming out saying that this steep yield curve, or this steep curve yield. Geez, really? This steep curve in the percentage of yield for treasuries. I butchered that. I don't know what I said. He's coming out saying, okay, I'm going to try this again. He's coming out saying that these high interest rates on like the 10-year yield could slow down his projected economic recovery, which, if you're keeping notes, is about 20 days away, because in about, what do we got? It's the 4th. So in 26 short days, we're going to start the recovery of 09, because we'll be in the second half. So at any rate, that's all I got for now. Thanks for letting me stumble through that last sentence. We'll talk to you later.